Hey Crestwood, happy Wednesday to you. Hope you all are doing well today and having a good week so far. It's an honor for me to join you and bring you this devotional this morning. Thanks for clicking on this. I hope it is meaningful to you. It's certainly been a joy for me to do these devotionals. We started them during COVID as a way for us to stay connected, and I think it worked for that. And as COVID was ending, my mom said, "You're going to keep doing those, right?" So a few people said they would still be interested in having a devotional for me. And gosh, here we are now, 5 or 6 years into these. And what a joy it is for me each week to come and share a word with you that I hope is meaningful to you. I'm certainly honored to bring you this devotional for this Wednesday, July 9th. This is a tough one because I am continuing to think about what's happened in Texas with the flooding, specifically with the Christian camp and the loss of life that has taken place there. I mean, as the father of 2 daughters, I can't even begin to imagine what those families are going through, thinking that their kids were going to a safe place, a Christian camp, and then to have such tragedy and devastation. And there's a lot of finger pointing going on of why this happened, what could have keep it from happening, that sort of thing. But the deeper question that I've had several people ask me is, how do we make sense of this as Christians? How do we make sense of this as followers of God? Where's God in all of this? And I have to be honest that I don't have an answer for that. I know y'all pay me to have those kind of answers. I don't have an answer for this. I can't offer an easy platitude that's going to make sense of something like this. And that's where I really struggle with some of the Christian cliches that get tossed around. You know, everything happens for a reason. Okay, I challenge you to give me a reason that would make sense of this tragedy. You know, God doesn't give us more than we can handle. So you're saying God gave this to those families to deal with? I think we have to be really careful about how we talk about these things. I think when we're faced with something so devastating, so tragic, so inexplicable, we try to find ways to make sense of it that often make God the scapegoat. And that is not helpful at all, because then what message does that send about God? I was talking with someone last night who said when she was growing up, she went to a funeral of a friend who died in a car accident, a teenager. And she said during the funeral, this is a much more conservative church, the pastor lamented that this person had not been saved and so would go to hell, and encouraged all the teenagers present to get saved so that they didn't go to hell as well. And I thought, wow, the church has done so much damage over the years. The church has sullied God's image so much over the years with people that I'm amazed that some people even step foot back in church. When things like this happen in Texas, it's not our job to explain them to people. It's not our job to try to help people understand. They may look to us as Christians, as followers of Christ, and I think it's fully appropriate for us to say, I don't know. I don't have an answer for this. I cannot explain why this happens. But I do think there might be some instructive and helpful ways we can respond. One of the things that I say in these situations is I say, I don't know how to explain this, but I do know that God didn't cause this to happen. I do know that it wasn't God's intention for all of these people to be killed in floods. God's not testing anybody. God's not punishing anybody. Such a perverted understanding of God's love and grace if people lay this at the foot of God and say that God is responsible for this. We really have to be really careful, because that's a slippery slope. What I do know is the Bible tells us that we are the body of Christ, that we are all members of that body, and that we are to rejoice with each other and to mourn with each other. When one of us is suffering, we all suffer. And so what we have at our disposal is the power of prayer. I will be honest, that can feel pretty helpless in this moment, pretty useless to just offer prayer in the midst of such devastation. But I think that depends on what you pray for. What I'm praying for today for those families in Texas is I am praying for them to feel God's presence in the midst of their loss. I am praying for them to feel God crying with them, to feel God mourning with them as they deal with the loss of these loved ones. And when we add our prayers to that, we are adding our voices to those who are crying out in grief, who are crying out in suffering with these families. We want them to know they are not alone as they go through this. that we are with them in our prayers, and most of all, that God is with them, holding them close. Folks, that's the best I think that we can do in these moments, because otherwise, anything we say to try to explain it, it's going to sound empty. Prayer is powerful. Let's keep doing it, Crestwood. God bless you.